Ladies and gentlemen, hello,
We got him. Is that us?
and welcome to the first ever Dark and Light live stream Q&A. With me, I am Erebus. To my left is Dean and Jimmy, which you also may know as Zephyr and Machine. How are we all doing today?
That's great.
How is the sound and everything? Chat. Is everything doing okay? Do we need to turn anything up? We're gonna wait for the chat to catch up a little bit.
The chat's trying to catch up.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Sweet. All right.
Want to go over a little bit?
Oh, also, sorry, I forgot to mention, we also have the man, the myth, the legend, Luhan, over here, which many of you may know from the Discord, but he's camera shy, so he's going to be handling the mouse and keyboard stuff for us.
Yeah, he's our cameraman for now, right? I know Darius was curious of what he looks like, but I'm sorry you're not going to be able to see him.
And no, Dingbat will not be the font of choice ever, God hand. Ever.
Oh, don't forget, Erebus is also Chancellor.
Chancellor Erebus.
To those that don't know what happened.
Yes. So, we've got a couple points that we're planning on going over today.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, answering your guys' questions to the best of our abilities is going to be the key concern. However, there are some topics that we want to cover first. Mostly, first and foremost, obviously, is we got a new DLC coming out.
That's right.
Right?
That is right.
That is right.
All right.
Really excited about
Shard
it.
of Faith.
Yep.
All right. No official release date yet.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
We got none, but we hope to release sometime this year, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for everyone to know, this is going to be a free DLC if you already own the original Dark and Light. So this is not going to be something that you have to pay extra for.
That's right.
You know, this is included. Think of it as like a
It's
very large content
Yeah,
update.
it's simply just a patch as far as you guys are
Yeah.
concerned.
It is going to be a brand new map. Right?
Mhm.
I'm almost looking at Luhan over here because he's giving me, he's giving me the green light to say certain things. It's a brand new map, new creatures, spells,
Right.
items, armor, weapons,
Yeah, everything. New
New
dungeons.
everything.
Yeah, new everything.
new everything.
More content, pretty much.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen the announced pictures, but there are also going to be 4 races
Right.
that you can unlock and play as.
Right.
There
It
you
is
go.
not.
Just to answer your question.
They are not races that you can create at the very beginning, correct?
Right.
You have to unlock and create them.
Right. So you still start off as, either starting as a dwarven, a elf, or a human, and on that there will be quest chain that you will go on based on what you like to become, and once you create that quest chain, you have a chance to, you will unlock the ability to, play the other race.
All right, and so the 4 that we got, which are in the official announcement screen, it's the screenshot in the official announcement,
Right.
are an Argonian lizard type race.
Right.
There is a
Gorgon.
like race.
Yeah.
There is the how do you pronounce it correctly? The
The Satyr?
The Satyr?
Yeah, the Satyr.
Satyr race.
Yeah, Satyr race.
And then there's also an undead.
Yep.
And from what I understand about each race is also going to have its own passive spell.
Yeah, they're all going to have different abilities that's for them specifically. For example, the undead has necromancy.
Okay.
It'll be able to, have magic for the undead.
Wow. Okay.
And then the Argonian's specialty is going to be using a shield.
Shield.
Yeah.
Okay, so each of them have their own specialty that
Yep.
they're going to be more adept at doing. So like Argonian being a shield bearer, I'm assuming is going to be able to be more tanky, I'm assuming,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
More defensive.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. What else can we say about the DLC? Luhan? Nothing.
Nothing.
That might be all. That might be all we got so far.
We're going to announce information as it comes.
Yes,
Stay
I got
tuned.
a lot of new screenshots and assets, which I will be trickling down
Right.
to you guys over time. I'll be sending out all the information as we get it. New races only at the new map. The quest lines and the races are going to be for that map, correct?
Yes, it will be for that map. Correct.
Okay. Cool. All right.
I guess we'll start taking questions.
Taking
I
questions
know,
about
I know
it,
the viewers all waited this for so long.
Hold on, let me just scroll back to see what we got. Server clusters, anything like that. New caves on the original map.
Yes, there will be one additional cave to the vanilla map, Arcos, and then additional dungeons moving forward will be on the Shard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got
there's still more content to come to the Sacred Path.
Okay.
Which is,
yeah. So yeah, the next dungeon that we'll be releasing is the Earth Dungeon, of course. Whoa, that's a big surprise, right?
Earth Dungeon coming out, yeah.
But
fire,
yeah,
ice,
yeah.
air.
And
Who would
then-
have thought Earth would come around at some point in time?
right. And then after that, we're gonna leap into the Shard and try to defeat the Dark Lord that's, protecting the Dark Dungeon, pretty much.
Oh, here's a good question. How do you go to the new map?
There will be a portal that players will be taking to go to the new map, and players can take it to go back to Arcos and vice versa.
Okay, so you can go flipping and flopping back between the two maps.
Yeah.
As I'm assuming that there's going to be resources that you can only get in the
one,
Shard of Faith
Yep.
versus and stuff that you can get in Arcos that you can't get in the Shard of Faith.
That's right.
Okay. Move to server. Will you lose ownership of your structures, or will they stay intact? They should stay.
They should stay intact. I mean, I can't say that there will be bugs because there will be bugs. But like I said, we'll do our best to fix every bug that the user will find, and do our best as we can. We're still only a small team, so
Yeah, and unofficial servers they're gonna have can they cluster together, or is it kind of gonna have to?
they're gonna have to. So it's a little bit like Arc, where like a new map comes out and you kind of have to make a new server for it, where players will have to do this when they go to the portal. It creates another kind of file on that server for you to play on there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, with the dev kit, are there going to be new assets that people can play around with? Like, well, we can talk about the dev kit a little bit here. Dev kit's new. Dev kit's really exciting, and we're going to get back to some questions in a second. But this sort of led pretty well into the dev kit. We're going to have new stuff for the dev kit as well with the content release. Correct?
Once we release the DLC, we're gonna release the dev kit adjacent to or in parallel to that DLC release, so that players can mess with that content.
yeah, because the goal is, like, as we release more content, we want it to be included in the dev kit so that people can already start to modify or do what they want with that.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of really, really cool, great new mods that have come out recently.
And so quickly, too.
So quickly, we'd like
Yeah.
to thank everybody. Oh, can we
Great
talk
job
about
with participation.
that yet?
Yeah, we could. I mean, we've been trying to put together this plan to do a contest, of course, to pick out the top the top mods out there in the workshop, and then there's gonna be winners, of course, and then there's gonna be a prize for those winners.
And it's a little bit of a different prize than we've done in the past for our community events, from what I understand, right?
Right. It's gonna be a little bit better, definitely.
Definitely a little bit better.
So I'm looking forward to everyone's submission, and of course we've been looking through the workshop and seeing the top mods out there, and we've been pretty impressed of what the user and the community has created so far, and we hope some of these mods will make it into our actual official servers as well.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Will mods in this dev kit be able to run on the... Oh, that's a good question. Mods in this dev kit be able to go on the new server, or will they have to be recreated for that as well?
It would be recreated for that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be basically a whole entire new experience, new map, new everything that needs to be...
But that doesn't mean that they can't use that and then just apply it to Arcos as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's in the same dev kit.
Yeah, it lives all in the same dev kit. So like just because, for us when we launch it, it's only for the Shard, doesn't mean players can't go in there and they're like, well, I like what they did on Shard, let's move it to vanilla instead.
Right. And the first thing I'm checking out is RIP stacking mods. We do know that stacking is something that people really, really like to have. And the amazing thing about the dev kit and having all these amazing community members work on mods for us is we work very closely with a lot of the modders that work on Dark and Light, and that means that if somebody comes up with a really, really great idea, like being able to stack, what's an item that people want to stack? Bottles. For example. Just pulling one out of the air. That maybe some people would want bottles to stack for some reason.
I mean, keep in mind, we play the game too, so we know.
Yeah,
we're loud and clear when it comes to issues with
full bottles versus non-full bottles.
Yeah.
However, if somebody comes up with a way to do that, maybe if they're nice enough, we can use that in the future of our game.
Well, I actually have an announcement. Yeah, like for me, I know Erebus always like, hey man, when are we gonna fix that bottle issue? I'm like,
I hope you guys know that everything that you guys put on Steam, the official forums, or Twitter or Facebook, I will throw every one of those links into a document or send them the links directly to make sure that they read it. Like, we all really love Dark and Light. Even if we're the three of us or Luhan over here aren't responding, we're reading everything and talking about
all
it.
the feedback, we see it all. Nothing false.
Everything.
Everything.
So
I get like probably 2 or 3 emails a day from Erebus like, hey, bottle stacking. I mean, that's number one, request by everybody. So right now we're testing it, and the modders are helping me test. But we're hopefully getting a stacking I&I settings for everyone to have, so that instead of getting all these stack mods, players would just be able to edit that and make sure it's available for other players that are playing on their servers and stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, which is obviously really, really exciting.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're still working on not only adding certain structures like, manor stairs, for example.
Well, you guys don't like stone stairs?
Don't like stone or iron stairs for your, castles? We're also working on the building mechanics. We know that, it was Blitzfire, right?
Yeah, Blitzfire created a really awesome mod on, being able to kind of do a rotation on the structure, kind of placing where you want and stuff.
Yeah.
We thought it was very awesome, and we hope to implement something like that.
And there's also mass pickup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, day one we had like mass pickup, we had stacking, we had all the different enchanted weapons, one named after Zephyr over here, and myself. We had all the great steampunk mods.
Oh yeah.
And
that
just
really
massive big things that we've done. And it's just really, really cool and exciting to have all of this stuff being given back to us from the community. And we can't thank you guys enough for everything that you've done.
I'm starting to love that the flying one that Iru created for us. It looks pretty awesome, like Harry Potter style kind of gameplay, right?
The dev kit is something that we really wanted to do for a really long time, and we know it took some time, and we're like, oh, it's coming out in January, and then it's February, and then March, and then what were some of the struggles that we ran into dev kit wise that sort of delayed us getting it to the community?
I think one of the biggest struggle is we wanted to work very closely to the modding community, so we handpicked a few very dedicated individuals to help us kind of test it, and then we're like, hey, we want to release this dev kit now. You guys think it's ready? And they're like, no, it's not. We need a couple more features. So it was just a balance of hey, we wanted to release, but the modding community was like, I don't think it's ready yet. I think we should add this couple of things. So our goal was to add those couple of features in before we were able to release. And once they're comfortable with the things that are coming out, that's when we pull the trigger and release it to the world.
I do know that I would sneak into the Discord and look at all of the tight-knit mod discussions that were going on, and it was a lot of, we really should wait and have this feature be really ironed out, because in the past we wanted to try and put out as much content and as many fixes as possible, and sometimes our ideas and ambitions got the best of us, and we put out things a little too quickly, and things didn't exactly go according to plan, or things got messed with. And then Machine over here, also known as Dean, had the lovely
we gotta fix this
job of yelling at us, be like, guys, people are falling through their airships right now.
I mean, obviously our goal is whenever we have any patch notes, we want to make sure that it matches 100% of what we announce. And if something isn't just right, we want to make sure we get it out as soon as possible.
So we're trying to take a different approach of optimizing, bug fixing, testing, and being okay with letting things come out a little bit later. Yeah, someone broke controllers as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame Luhan for the controller breaking over here since he's not on screen.
It should be fixed now.
He's shaking his head right now.
And please, if it's still having issues, let us know. But yeah, we should have it fixed.
But we really wanted to focus on making sure that content came out correct and quality instead of giving out as much stuff as possible, which obviously was being mirrored by you guys.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of community members that are like, we wish that you guys would take a little bit more time and maybe, make sure things are right and optimize more versus putting out new stuff. So we really tried to spend, March and April and all of May really focusing on that content and making sure that optimizations went right.
Right.
So we really do appreciate the feedback in the way that you guys want things to be done. We really, really do care and want to try and do the best that we can. Custom maps. I know that some people are making maps.
there are a couple modders that are making custom maps that are for the mod kits. So yes, depending on where that map is and how popular it is, you might see it.
Anytime.
Anytime in our game. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really, really talented people out in our community who, we definitely are interested in working with. So
definitely.
There's a lot of different things that we can do, that we want to do, and just know that the sky's the limit. I mean, we're not planning on stopping
we're
anytime
definitely not.
soon.
I know there's a question on the colors and when we're going to release the colors that are not in the game yet.
Oh, the ones that are already... Yeah.
I know some people are cheated to get the colors, but I mean, that's more of a question for Luhan when he wants to get those colors in.
Luhan just said he really doesn't want you guys to have hot paint, is what I've been told. So getting those colors.
Yeah, we'll try to get them in as soon as we can. I think because the whole team is just kind of focusing right now a little bit of split between DLC and optimization. That the little things that are very easy to do. Just we haven't just had time to do it. So.
Oh, these are two actually really cool questions. One is about lore. Now I know that I've been able to read a lot of behind the scenes lore. Sorry guys, about what's going on. But what are you doing working towards? Overarching lore of Arcos, Gaia, Shard of Faith, intertwining everything together.
Right.
The universe of Dark and Light.
The universe of Dark and Light.
Luhan has a very, very slow typing, 15 words per minute, I think. So that's the biggest region. But besides that,
in addition to his other work.
Yes,
yeah. So yeah, I read the lore a lot, and the Shard is pretty much gonna take. It's gonna be like a chapter 5 of the lore. From what we already know of the 9 gods and Gothar, the father of the 9 gods and all that.
Gothar.
So the Shard of Faith is pretty much it takes place after Gaia has been destroyed and there's shards of Gaia all over the place, and there's gonna be Freya, the god of I guess of the waters in a sense. We're pretty much gonna travel there and help out. I forgot her name now. Alicia.
Okay.
With just fighting the plague that's messing up the Shard of Faith currently.
Right.
Yeah. So as an adventurer, there's gonna be quest chain. There's gonna be a full quest line that's gonna kind of feed you guys the lore and kind of get you guys immersed into the whole aspect of how we got here and what our enemies are and all that.
So that's a different sort of take that we've been doing recently. Is that when we first went into early access almost a year ago now, we were very much survival game.
Right.
We had, some quests to kind of tutorial, get everybody into things, but it was at its core, very much a survival game.
You're just thrown into the world, and you're building, you're crafting, you're gathering.
Surviving the wilderness, getting to make lovely friends with all the Death Stalkers that were out on the plains.
There's this story that we're yet to discover, and we're hoping to deliver that soon.
However, recently it seems like we've been adding more RPG-ish sort of mechanics, like, we're adding new races, and, there's passive abilities, and a longer quest line. Like, what sort of... Oh, also, people aren't losing all of their stuff when they have, like, a PvE type death.
Right.
Like, they fall to their death or something like that.
So, yeah, some of the PvE things that we're trying to, kind of mesh into the survival genre is, like, we want players to not feel like they're punished a lot when they die, like losing items and stuff. That's one of the small things that we want to implement. Like long quest chain, like even optional quests out there that players can start with and end with and get rewards for them. That's a very RPG aspect.
Why did we decide to go this route? From the traditional hardcore survival genre to now sort of more of an RPG hybrid of a survival game.
It's kind of like I said, we've been working with the community and figuring out, like, what's working and what's not, right? And there's a huge outcry of, like, players just feeling that it's just too punishing for newer players and, like, not enough end content for the veteran players. Yeah. So that we're trying to balance the both, where the beginning there's a reason for you to be there, a reason why you're on this world, and then you're working towards this, whatever this end game is going to be. And then for us to do that, we need to make sure we're steering players in a way where they kind of like, hey, you should be going to this area to fight because there's, a couple quests here, there's new monsters here, there might be a boss here that you need to defeat to go to the next, or progress to the next. I know that kind of takes away from the sandbox feeling, but I mean, you're trying our best to kind of balance both worlds in one. Yeah.
And we do know that the camera's a little bit blurry. This is our first stream, so we're going to try and fix this for next time, because it's really weird because this is a 1080p HD camera that I have set to that, so I don't exactly know what's going on, but that leads into something else I wanted to say. I was reading, during you speaking, which I apologize for. It's really, really rude. Thanks. Blame,
it's okay.
Blame Luhan for most of it.
Oh
boy.
But I saw you guys have talked about something along the lines of, why did it take us so long to do a live Q&A? Mm-hmm. And I know that I mentioned something about it in the Arcos back in January, and it never came to fruition. Mm-hmm. And the question basically is, why did it take us so long? And I'm going to answer this by saying there is no excuse. Basically, I'm not even going to try and say things came up or things were hard. There's just no excuse that it took us this long. And we're going to try and fix that. And we've been talking, and this Q&A live stream is going to become a monthly cadence.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's
really up to you, right? It's like,
well, that's why
if you tell me,
should be.
That's why I'm saying we're going to make this a monthly thing. Whether it's just me and Luhan over here hanging out on the controls, or if I can harass you two again to join me. This is something that we're going to do a lot more often. So, because we want to be able to answer as many questions as we can, because sometimes it's hard on the forums when I'm trying to type to a bunch of people a day.
Right.
And other things come up, and we're trying to do community events and organizing Double XP event, which is going on throughout the Steam sale.
Yeah, so that's
Steam,
awesome.
Also half price right now on the Steam sale.
Yeah.
So,
pick up the game if you haven't done so already.
Get your friends in, get your mom, get your dad.
I know. We don't do this often, but having a double XP, man, I'm like grinding.
I'm excited. Yeah. It's going to be easier for you to play with friends, new characters, new servers.
Yeah.
For when I put one chest on one server.
Yeah, we got to figure out that dedicated server thing, because it's the weird thing is we always had a dedicated server client ready to go, but it's just for some reason it's not showing up. So we're gonna look into that and make sure.
We're aware of that issue. We're looking into it.
Basically, just know we're sorry, and we're gonna do this more often. And there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on. Another question I saw, which I know people have been asking for probably since early access releases, what about cross-alliance with different factions? So having humans be able to faction alliance with dwarves and have a dwarven human fight against the elves, because everybody knows everyone picks elves. It's the most dominating race, and we need to be able to band together. That's stinking Estelle with your unicorns right outside. Right. Anyways.
I'm a dwarven kind of player, but
I started dwarven too. I like Talos better though, honestly.
Yeah, female human.
Yeah.
Sorry,
but
that's my go-to.
I think the team wanted to do something that had, faction-based mechanics to it, but it's something that we're still discussing and not very sure if it's something that we have time to kind of finish doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like more of like an arena style, faction based, warfare kind of thing. But
I see.
We'll see. I mean, it's really right at this point. It's just time.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
time. Yeah.
So basically, like, these are things that we would like to do if we can at some point in the future.
Mhm.
However, we don't have any
Right.
specific details on yeses or nos and
Right.
when's they may come.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I also start seeing some questions on the console.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Go ahead, Jimmy.
We're working on it for Xbox specifically, and maybe for PS4 later on. But it's always in our plan to release it for the consoles, of course. But
It was shown at the Microsoft E3.
we'll see.
Well, I mean, back,
Oh yeah, I know. I remember us showing that, and the plan was to have Xbox ready after we actually go 1.0 for Dark and Light. So we haven't even gone 1.0 yet for Dark and Light. So
Right.
So having it be available for console is still the ways out.
Role playing obviously is a big part of sandbox survival games in general, and with all of the new RPG-ish aspects that we're including, doing more role-play stuff is definitely not out of the cards.
Yeah, it's definitely not out of the cards.
We've been adding different server types for a while. I mean, we started with just PvE and PvP, and then we had Chaos servers, and we got Master Builder servers. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we want to do. It's just, again, we're a relatively small team working on Dark and Light.
Yeah, with the community. Like, if the community feel like there's certain settings for the specific types of server, we can definitely spin one up and test it and make sure that's, to their liking.
Exactly.
And then we can make it a thing. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, the Master Builder server was a thing because a lot of players are like, I just like to play it for the PvP aspect. I like to build. I like to, just make my house as big as I can and do that. So then we made that happen. And there's players that love PvP and they love the very hardcore aspect of the game. So we made a Chaos server, right?
Mm-hmm.
So based on what the community wants, we can generate a server type to fit their needs.
And with all of the new races that are coming out, and the new spells, and the new environment, there's a lot of doors opening. So we do know that role-playing is a big part of survival servers and survival games in general.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is something that we're aware the community wants, and we're definitely not opposed of doing potentially at some point in the future. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Cool.
So there was a question, I saw the server transfer and all that, and switching between or transferring from the shard to Arcos and vice versa, and what players can take over. It's a discussion that we still have internally of like what players can bring over and what they can.
Right.
I think it's more of the balancing issue. Let's say if a new player is starting on the shard and like a veteran player comes in with like the two-handed greatsword, they're gonna be destroying everything. So we need to make sure that the new players still feel like they're still having fun and not be in a situation where they feel like they're always targeted or
that they're just too late to the party.
Yeah, too late to the party.
Yeah, kind of want to, it's a balance between, rewarding the veteran players for playing the game for so long, but allowing new players to enjoy the game, with a fresh, look, fresh new character.
Yeah, because we don't want to discourage anyone from playing the shard just because they're new, right? Like, for me, if I was a player and then something new came out, I'm like, oh, I can't play it because I'm just too new at the game, which sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Something that someone else added, going along with the colors that Luhan won't release to the community. What about the other enchanted metals?
Oh, enchanted metal.
That Luhan
yeah.
also won't release to the community.
So all those other materials that we released by accident into the wild, it was meant for the DLC. Like there will be crafting items that players can craft to.
Got it. So these are sneak peek items that weren't.
Yeah, it just got into that build without us. We forgot to mark it as not available.
Luhan. He's covering his face in shame right now. Can you just stick a hand out just to show people I'm not lying? That
he's
someone
not like
is
talking
here?
to a cardboard box somewhere in the world.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
That's good. You go back. I know you're camera shy. What about that question I've highlighted?
Oh, to finishing, huh? That's a good question. So how far are we? to finishing the game.
So
So
1.0.
it's hard because we're all perfectionists, unfortunately, and we want the game to be the best it is. And of course, there's always wants for optimization to run on like toaster of a computer and all that.
And if we know anything about the modders that we work with in Discord, they are more perfectionists than we are.
Yeah.
This isn't good enough. What are you talking about?
Yeah. They're like,
Which is a good thing.
They're like,
We're
yeah.
very happy that's a thing. However,
So,
no,
yeah.
you can't release.
yeah, we can't release that.
How dare you?
That extension is not there. So I mean, we taken on that approach too and be like, we want this to be in a great state for when it does release. I mean, Conan released recently and they did well for releasing
absolutely.
1.0, and we like to enjoy that kind of success too. But I think the game still has a lot to grow on, and using the community to kind of be that foundation for us. I mean, we're not too kind of worried about the numbers and all that. I think it's just we need to make this game great, and in order to do that, we need to put the time and the effort and work with the community to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
The goal is, at the end of the day, the goal is to make a game that you guys want to keep playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like anytime we can be like, all right, this is released now,
Yeah.
But when are we comfortable with
It's
that?
it's not ready yet.
Yeah, it's not ready yet.
So we have an idea of when,
yeah.
from what I understand you guys are saying, but
Yeah.
we can't pinpoint anything because it'll be done when perfection says
Yeah.
it's done. Or
If you can ask me, do we have a plan to release this year? Yeah, I'll be like, we always have a plan to release this year. And if it doesn't release this year, yes, we have a plan to release next year, and so on and so forth. But until the modders say it's ready to go, the modding community says it's ready to go, this game is great, I'll be like, all right, let's get ready.
Yeah. So since we're having more RPG-ish features,
Yeah.
we got Minku asking, what about a better map versus just the summoning map? Is that something that could potentially be in the cards? Like, do we want to keep that as part of like the heart and soul? Because everyone knows like, oh, Dark and Light doesn't have a map. Like,
Right.
it's one of those things where it's like,
That's just
why doesn't it have a map? But
That's
it doesn't
just
have a map.
It's just a sandboxing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a map. I think once we kind of integrate this RPG aspect to it, we definitely will be looking into like something that has to do with a map where players would know where they're going and they need to know where they're going and stuff like that.
Maybe modders.
Maybe modders.
Maybe
Yeah.
modders.
Yeah. Give us a reason to press the M
The
button.
M
Yeah,
button.
the M button. Yeah.
You know?
Stuff like that.
I know I press it sometimes.
I think we all like accidentally press it every now and
Muscle
then.
memory from other games.
Yeah.
Muscle memory.
You play
Yeah.
other games? How dare you?
Yeah, for research purposes.
Yeah,
You gotta
okay,
keep
sure.
up to date on a lot of things.
What else? Oh, the Lord program. Now, Lordship is something that we wanted to do since forever.
Yeah. Since forever.
Ever since, like, before, like, when we had hands-on builds, before the community got anything in early access, it's something that we want to do, and something that we're still working on, ironing out exactly what we want to do with it. Because it's definitely going to be one of those more endgame RP type features.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunately gotten put
Neglected. It's
down,
been
neglected, and
Yeah.
not given the love and care and time. But it is a system we still want to incorporate for a lot of obvious, really cool reasons.
Yeah, like, I mean, players been asking about it, but I think the reason why it's been neglected is because not a lot of players have been wanting that feature. So it's kind of like, hey, players are like optimization, and then there's like fixes for the foundation.
Why does it take 20 minutes for the map to load in on a dragon loading screen?
Why can't I run on my toaster machine? Like, we wanted to make sure to keep everyone happy, and like, like the lordship thing was like 2, 3, sometimes 4 players. Like, hey, why isn't it working? We're like, yeah, we know, it's just we're only a team of this much, and they were like, we're trying to do everything, and it's hard to kind of keep everyone focused, and like, I know Erebus comes in and be like, dude, lordship, I love that thing. Why is that in? I'm like, well, you want this or you want this? You can't have both currently,
One other thing that we can bring up while we're talking about lordship and things being neglected, we gotta say it because everyone's gonna ask about it. The guardian tree.
Oh, the guardian tree, yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone still has level 3 guardian trees that
it
don't
looks
do
pretty.
anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, I have a guardian tree.
Just know we're aware that the guardian tree exists in the state that it exists in right now.
Right.
And it is something that we don't plan on neglecting.
Yeah, we don't. I know it's just like, it just feels like you just spend so much time for just a nice pretty tree, and yeah, I mean, in the beginning it wasn't the plan to like release it right away, but I think it was right then and there we had made a mistake of like trying to release as much content as we can, but without thinking about the repercussion behind it of like, oh, is this content actually finished? Is it done to our expectation? It was just like everyone was screaming content.
How much time does it take to invest into something like one diamond?
Yeah. Stuff like that. So now we kind of going back and looking at the things that we've done and making sure that things are to completion and things are to our standard of like when things should be released and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I mean, the garden tree is something we will look back on and select the diamond to make sure that it's balanced and that there's reasons behind the things that we release instead of like just releasing it because there's content and something for players to do and stuff like that.
Which is why we've been focusing more on months of different things. We want this month to be an optimization month, and this month we're going to have this dev kit come out, and we're going to be doing little optimizations and fixes besides that, which is why like around the bug fixes, exactly, which Dean will have 3 pages worth of stuff for us to go over and choose from.
We hear you loud and clear when it comes to like, man, this hasn't been fixed yet. And just as something like with the guardian tree, like it came to a point where we have to kind of change our priorities, where we have to really balance content versus bug fixes versus optimization.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we are hitting everything, and it's sometimes you gotta really pick and choose what's priority. And at the same time, again, we still want you guys to continue to play this game and continue giving us feedback and catching bugs and reminding us when there's bugs, even though we already know that. We hear you loud and clear when it comes to this.
And you test everything that we're going to put into a patch note. And everything. I know you do. I see you doing it. And sometimes when things go to live servers, it gets a little wonky, like a stacking issue, just for like random, never has happened example. And when things like that happen, they unfortunately sort of get bumped up on the priority list of things that need to get fixed and adjusted that we weren't planning on fixing or adjusting, which delay other things.
Right.
Like we said previously, we do see everything that you guys are asking for us to do, and I log all of the feedback, I log all the bugs, Dean tests all the bugs, Dean logs all the bugs and reminds us like, hey, there's still this issue going on right now. Jimmy definitely knows everything that's going on, and Luhan doesn't want us to fix any of it.
Stop throwing Luhan on the bus.
But no, and we definitely know we need to address a lot of things. Yeah. There's so much that we want to do, which is why we've been breaking things down in months. And we think that that's been going a lot better recently. Yeah. And the community as a whole has been really, really accepting and cool with like, oh, this patch has 2 fixes, but we're coming out with the dev kit in 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Keep up the great work. Or like, we're optimizing, like, is your game loading faster now? Like, you should be saving some like GPU memory now. And people are like, yep, absolutely. Or, are you crazy? No, you haven't fixed anything. What did you even change? Yeah. Which is totally okay too, as long as we don't care if we're told, hey, like this is messed up. You need to fix this. As long as it all stays constructive. We want you to tell us, hey, this could be better.
Yeah.
But
my favorite is always like, Dev, please read. Dev, please fix. It's like, all right, we'll fix it because you are the highest priority and because you wrote Dev, please fix, right?
Yeah. We do really want to help everyone and everything.
Yeah, we do. We are perfectionists and we are part of the community as well, and we want to grow with you guys and make sure the game is up to your standard as well as ours. And there's one thing that I always want to talk about with you, which is the community spells that.
Yes, the alleged community spells event that never actually happened. I think that So our idea was to do a community spell event around January.
Yeah.
And then a lot of things happened in January, because that was when the live stream was supposed to happen.
Right.
And basically nothing happened for like 2 or 3 months, and everyone was like, what is going on?
And now it's pretty much June, and it's almost July.
Yeah.
And just know that we read all the feedback, and we actually implemented some of the feedback to our DLC. things like cloaking, stealth, and all that, and necromancy was all part of our DLC.
A lot of people want to roleplay as a necromancer.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to have spells to be able to get away, and a big one was either like a blink/invisibility spell,
Yeah.
and I know that we have those features.
Yeah, blink is a feature that we actually introduced in our dev kit instead for players to be able to create as an ability.
Mess around with. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like we didn't create a community style. It's just we didn't make one specifically based on that thread. It's just we just applied those ideas and made it for our DLC and for dev kit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy only works for me or Dean. We can say Jimmy and harass him enough to get stuff done eventually. But it still does take time.
Yeah.
Like, hey Jimmy, how's this going? Oh, it's going. I'll give you a feedback. I'll give you an update tomorrow. 3 days later, hey Jimmy, remember that thing we're talking about? Oh yeah, you'll get it on Monday. Jimmy also is doing 50 things per day, so it's understood.
But I'm always available, and if you message me or like whisper to me or DM me or whatever on Discord, if I have time, I'll answer your questions.
He doesn't even get back to me about my DMs. He doesn't even DM me back.
Because it's usually, if Erebus DM me, it's just like, hey, this community is complaining about this. Could you fix this? Or should I tell them that?
Or it's 11 p.m. and never mind. Anyways, cave timers is another big thing that people have been asking about a lot. Because farming endgame materials and weapons and armor, you have to farm cave bosses.
Right.
And that's something that is difficult currently because of the cave timers that we have.
Right.
This is something that we've been talking about internally, and we are aware that there's a large part of the community that feels that the cave timers are too long.
Right.
I mean, we just introduced the idea of resetting the entire dungeon with the Mistbane Shrine.
Yeah.
So, like as far as future content goes, it opens up the door as the idea of like resetting, and again, we do hear a lot of feedback like, please make it quicker so we can fight the boss again. It's so again, it's feedback we hear loud and clear, and it's something that we definitely want to take a look into.
There's just a lot of sorry, I didn't mean to cut
Go ahead.
you off.
No, go ahead.
There's a lot of things that we need to take into account that we need to make sure are going to work out mechanically before we talk about changing. Oh, like Belzal's kind of going to respond every 15 minutes now. Like, how do we deal with people building and blocking in front of the cave entrance? How do we keep people from staying logged inside to make sure that, every time it resets, they're there to kill it and they can tell their entire house? How do we make it so that everybody has equal opportunity to it? How do we then moderate how the drops are if instead of, killing them once every 2 hours, you're able to kill them every 15 minutes? I mean, you're going to have a house full of 30 people with, crazy endgame loot. So we do know that there is a desire and a need to making sure that everyone has access to this endgame material and loot.
Right.
But doing it correctly is something that takes time to discuss. Just know that we understand that these timers may be long right now. And we want to make sure it's done right. So, yes, we do understand. I don't have any details on if it's getting fixed though, but that's where we're at with it.
Well, we did learn a lot from the feedback. So for our DLC for like boss taming, or sorry, not boss taming, but mythical taming.
I was about to say, oh, really? No, boss taming. You do talk to me, Jimmy.
Mystical taming and stuff, instead of like having to sit there and wait for days, and hours and all that.
I've seen 16 to 18 hours.
Right. So you you'll complete this quest chain, and then you'll have an ability to tame that mythical creature.
Right.
Once you complete that quest. So like, not everyone's kind of like flying around hunting for elites and all that, and then after you hunt them, you have to put them down, sit there, and put a house on them and stuff like that. So we were trying to eliminate all those like unnecessary time from like just sitting around doing nothing, just waiting for you to tame.
Yeah.
So elites with all those ores that don't exist on some of them.
Keep in mind, like in order to test that, I have to do the exact same thing that you guys do. So there's definitely room for improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can speed up server time to an extent, but to test it properly,
Yeah.
it's got to be done just like it'd be done on any official server.
Right.
Yeah.
So
play the game.
But yeah, some people are asking about your shirt, Dean. So where can they get that shirt?
nowhere.
Nowhere, right? Because
This is a limited edition dark and light shirt, okay? Made from the finest silk in
with a big old
all of...
I know he supports the Pegasus, right?
Yeah. He
No.
supports Estelle. You're an Estelle lover. You're another elf, aren't you? People aren't going to be very happy about that.
Yeah.
All right, we got about
I wanna sport a
15
Nidhogg.
more minutes or so.
All right.
Right.
There's a couple big questions that have we covered or haven't covered? What do we got, guys? What do we got? Capital
Elf
City
for the win.
functions. That could be interesting, but no plans currently. Decay timers. Okay, so decay timers. I can actually talk about this. Decay timers are on PvE, the demolished timers currently, and I can talk about this. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Decay. So I found out because I asked about this. Decay timers or the demolished timers are working on PvE. They are not currently implemented on PvP. Correct. Correct. Okay. Thanks, Luhan. What? You're never gonna give them that? Oh, we're gonna never. Sorry, I'm kidding. We're gonna implement PvP timers as well. It's just something we're still working on.
I think
we
it's
found out.
the reason why it's taking so long is just a balancing issue. PvP is a little bit harder to balance versus PvE, where the only thing you have to worry about is the world and the environment. Where PvP, it's other players, and if a timer is too fast or it takes too long, then we get players just on both spectrum just complaining about how unbalanced it is.
And we know that we have to balance when people are going on holidays, and which holidays, if we were to balance that, like, do we account for, which do we don't? Do we factor time in for that just all the time? But we do know that there is an influx of new players, which is great. But that does mean that there will be extra stuff on the map.
Right.
So we are working on decay timers still. It is not a finished thing. We do know that they need to be fixed and also implemented on PvP servers, something that we will be doing.
Right.
Luhan? Right? Yes? Luhan. Okay, thank you. Caves, underground, or areas
You see that K3 Supreme Chancellor? It's like, got about 1 billion columns. What about all the columns around Night 3?
Have you contacted player support yet? You can... I know player support takes time to get back to you guys sometimes, but they do reach out to me about all these issues and they investigate. Like, when I say, like, we're not talking about the investigation, it's just because we're not going to be like, hey, Luhan, you're spamming pillars all over the map, bro, I'm banning you. Because that doesn't feel good and nobody wants that. But do know that we're looking into it. So if you have an issue, if there is some sort of report abuse, please send in documentation of the report abuse, send in the area. You can still look at your XYZ coordinates, and either someone from player support or myself will look at it. So.
Yeah, so there's a question from Doran, right? Is that... I'm kind of blind because I have glasses, but...
Can't see that? This is like a...
Any chance caves or underground areas we can build? So in the DLC, there will be a lot of caves where players will be able to build underground or even to the side of, I guess, cliffs. And then there will be creatures that will be able to, wall walk and all that.
Talking about...
Can we talk about that stuff?
Yeah. All right.
It's gonna be...
Luhan, yes? Yes?
There's a lot in store for
There's a lot in store, but I'm just really
very
something here and now, but
in a really good
like
way.
I said, we're going to try to have something ready for, what is it? Our community testers to, if they wanted to play on it before we release.
Yeah.
But it's only to select a few, unfortunately, but...
It's before the big release of the floodgates.
Yeah, pretty much. Just because the map is still very huge and, but Dean is only one person testing it, so there's no way he can get through the whole map.
Only Dean.
Not with that attitude.
Now, this is something that we've been talking about for a while, and people have been talking about on the forums. Well, we're talking about PvP and fighting against manners. All right. So we had creatures and items that could do damage to manners, and then we're like, no, that's definitely not okay. We're taking that away.
Right.
And then we had some glaive issues where they were doing too much damage to manners, and we were like, we didn't mean for that to happen.
Yeah.
Our bad. We're taking that out too.
Yeah.
There are limited ways to damage manners right now. Do you have any sort of insight into what we might be doing when it comes to raiding and PvP and sieging manners and assaulting?
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of feedback for adding siege capabilities to assault manor or just to raid in general, and I think for a game like Dark and Light where we focus on magic, we hope that magic would be a big part of sieging, as well as introduction of creatures that can help players siege better. Like originally we had planned for the Colossus to be one of the big creatures that that can raid buildings a lot easier versus
So
it makes sense.
So lore-wise, it would make sense that your Grand Wizard casting Firestorm would be able to take down a manor wall.
Yeah.
Not your knight on a horseback with a spear poking
poking
at a giant wall.
Yeah.
You got 4 dudes poking at a wall like a
Yeah.
Monty Python, and eventually it falls down.
Yeah. We hope that you're using and utilizing the creatures that are meant to siege, and not just your great sword going up there just going ham on a wall for 2 hours straight.
However, more ways than we currently have are being discussed.
Right.
Correct. Things that in a way that makes sense.
And
Yeah, in a way that makes sense. If a wyvern is a creature that can eat through walls very fast, it doesn't make any sense. Versus Colossus was just a huge beast,
Or a dragon that can
yeah.
blow fire through walls.
Through walls and stuff.
Yeah, that was always good. That was fun. Yeah, we enjoyed that.
We don't talk about.
didn't.
Yeah, we don't talk.
Luhan was the one that liked that feature.
Yeah,
we told him that was no good.
We don't talk about fire breaths and all that. Any dragon breath.
What else do we got? We got 8 minutes, so we got time for a couple of more sick questions. Sky Fortress, Mobile Fortress, something we're still working on. Mobile Fortress, we are aware will fall asleep, and you need to feed it essence until it wakes back up. That if you try and put
It's okay, Erebus. I know all the issues in the
anything
mobile fort
on it slides off.
And this is one of the things where we were just trying to release something awesome, but fell short of it being awesome because
We set a hard. Didn't we set a hard date?
Yeah, we set a hard date because we sent a milestone plan for Erebus to release to the community. So they're expecting us to release at a certain time, and with that, set expectation for the team to finish it on time. So as a result, we released content that was not finished because there was a date that
this was part of our learning process.
Yeah, it was a prime example of when the option to delay was probably the best option to do it, rather than sticking to the date that we set.
But at first we were trying to slam out content, and then we were trying to schedule content so that you guys understood everything that was coming out when it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized that both of those systems weren't exactly working as well, which is why you have more of me not giving strict timelines every month and more of me keeping everybody updated with constant notifications and news articles about what we're doing this month.
Coming up next. Yeah.
So it's been a learning process for us too. I mean, obviously being a small team with a very big game, and I mean, with a community like we have that's so invested, we want to make sure that we're giving everything we can. So we're learning the best way to make sure that that content is managed.
Yeah. Can we get the Void Ray? Well, the Void Ray will be in the DLC.
It'll be in the DLC. What?
What? Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Void Ray in the DLC.
We're allowed to say
Luhan, are we allowed to say that? No? We said it anyways.
Oh, yeah, it's
Void
out
Ray's
there
in the
now.
DLC.
Yeah, you see the Void Ray in the DLC. Sea creature is spaz. Yes, sea creature is something that
We've been hearing a lot of feedback regarding
Yeah,
that.
like we definitely wanted to see that too. Kind of like it felt like our oceans were just all fishes and nothing else. But yeah, it's something that we wanted to expand everyone's horizon into like what they can do instead of just everything on land or everything on rocks. Now for the DLC, it's like, oh, we can go into caves. There's gonna be swamps that doesn't have like people inhabited on that. Players can inhabit it as well. So the sea is something that we're looking to implement for everyone in the future.
House banners.
House banners.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That's a good idea. And that like is a cosmetic RP type thing.
Right.
Luhan, house banners. Write it down.
I hope Luhan's putting all this down.
He's writing. Oh, he's writing it down. I see him frantically with his keyboard, just like going at it.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. I think House Banner would like just add a touch to the game to give you kind of a pride into your house and all that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. We got about a couple minutes left, so we're gonna start wrapping things up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we talk about everything we wanted to talk about?
We will continue to do these monthly. I plan on doing them monthly at least, so you'll be able to see my lovely face. Luhan, will you be here? All right, sounds good, Luhan. Dean and Jimmy.
You just called us Dimmy.
Dimmy, the dynamic duo Dimmy, will be joining me as much as their schedules allow them to, I believe.
Yeah.
Which would be obviously great because...
We'll do our best to make this a monthly thing and help answer the community's questions and concerns and hopefully get something new, like just, for example, the house banner and stuff like that.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot, see, this is what happens. People put out feedback and oh, that would be sick. People want a different way to, destroy mana items. What about a potion to enchant their blade that lets them do X amount of damage for X swings? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really cool ideas that we could potentially do. There's just so many different things we want to work on. But know that we're as excited about all the new content and the possibilities and the future and the new players and the old players and everything that we're doing right now.
And we are as invested in making sure that everything works, that it's as bug-free as possible, that nothing hinders your progression, or that you don't lose items because you moved a stack of apples from one inventory item to the other. We just want to make sure that whatever content we deliver, we can deliver.
Just remember, there's only one guy testing our game, making sure it's good and ready to go when we release. So
we got
it's so great. I'll be on the forums.
Sure, put it all on me.
I'll be on the forums. And a bug will come up and be like, Dean, they're saying this. Is this actually happening right now? It's let me go check. Stops everything he's doing.
No, it's not only that, but it's also that's been reported 2 months ago.
Dean, things are stacking correctly, right? Nope, I just lost 90 magic essence. Oh.
Yeah, when we talk about DLC and new creatures and new tech like blinking, I'm just yeah, great. There's 10 things I need to test about that to make sure that it's good to go.
Yeah, I was like, hey, go test this 10 by 10 map, make sure everything's working.
I don't think that people understand that these shirts are not just handed out or given. Yeah. These shirts that Dean is currently wearing are a pride symbol that takes many years to achieve.
With 1,200,
the amount of rigorous testing you need to go through in order to get one of these shirts?
Yeah, you need
there's a fire pit, jumping, and athletics involved in one of the stages.
Right.
And it's a 12-stage process.
Right. Maybe for the modding contest, I'll send out a shirt for those winners.
Are you kidding me? I'm still working on my shirt. Yeah, I'm wearing a snail hoodie.
I don't
have a Dark Light shirt yet.
I don't see you modding.
Oh, that's cold. Listen, we
they're
can't
they're making it sound way too complicated. It's just 1,200 rare hide and some diamonds.
Yeah.
Dude, stop telling them. Luhan. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I think I can speak on behalf of everybody, but they're gonna mimic it as well. That we wouldn't be where we are now without you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh snap! I have to fit this in real quick. The Brunda voice.
Oh.
That sound. Dean, all right. The reason it hasn't been adjusted yet is Dean says it's not that bad.
I went on YouTube and listened to a vulture and other creature or other birds that are similar. I'm like,
We did fix it in the beginning. It was pretty bad in the beginning.
I know that we adjusted it at least one time.
Yeah, we adjusted one time.
There's that.
They're still saying to fix it again.
All right.
For what you want
feedback,
fixed, you can hear that Dean says it's not that bad. So blame him.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's priorities, right? Do you want do you want to fix the stacking or do you want to fix the Barunda? That's the you gotta
I'm
pick
pretty
and
sure
choose.
that everyone would say the Barunda right
Oh,
now.
the
Barunda.
Barunda is
Yeah,
a top
for sure.
priority right now.
We're gonna get a shirt that says "Not my Baruda."
We love you guys. We really wouldn't be anything of what we are today without your feedback, without your support, without your kind words, without your not so kind words, and it's all really appreciated.
Yeah.
And I want you guys to really know that we all genuinely care about Dark and Light and also everything that you guys do for us.
Yeah, for sure.
We
So-
feel the love in your feedback. Like, obviously you care, and we want to show that we care too.
What's that? Huh?
Oh.
Luhan really cares about you guys too, he said.
Yeah,
So don't worry
greatly.
about that.
Especially the ones that are always asking about map extensions.
His pointer fingers are bleeding right now from the amount of typing he's been doing, but he's still here.
Yeah.
He's still handling things.
Yeah.
So, all right, 4:00, we're done.
Yep.
We love you. We got to go do other Dark and Light things.
Yeah.
Go back to
You'll
testing.
probably see me responding to the stuff I haven't been responding to on the forums because
Yeah.
I've been trying to set this up.
Yep.
And the camera's still blurry. However,
We'll fix it for next time.
Yeah,
we'll fix it.
Yeah.
We got our Chancellor
Sorry,
here.
I didn't get a chance to test it.
Chancellor Erebus.
Yeah, Chancellor Erebus.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have
See you
a
guys.
great rest of your days, nights, everything like that. And good luck out in Arcos.
See you soon, adventurers.
See you soon.